All right, welcome in. It is Friday. It is time for Total Bases. Tokyo Brandon and I are fired up. We had a good night last night. I went 3-0. 3-0 sweep. TB went 2-0. Tokyo Brandon, I logged into the website this morning. Also, shout out to WagerTalk. 250,000 subscribers. Was achieved around 7:30 p.m. Eastern last night. Okay. Someone says Trig stop blabbering behind the scenes and start the show. I'll take the blame for that today. We were chit-chatting, and all of a sudden it was 9 a.m. Eastern. But we got a lot going on. WagerTalk hit 250,000 followers. You and I both sweep last night, a combined 5-0, and then I log into the site. Last 30 days, I see Tokyo Brandon in the number one spot, 66.03 units over the last 30 days. And then I'm number two, 55.23 units, and we both have 5%ers tonight. It couldn't be going any better unless we can sweep our 5% and hit everything else today. And so how are you this morning? I'm feeling good.
On top of that, Adam, we won our parlay yesterday too.
And on top of that, we won the parlay. That's right. You hit the under in first five in the Phillies-Padres game, and I got the Giants plus 1.5. Didn't need the plus 1.5. They got it done outright. So yeah, good day all around.
It's called being on a roll, and we're definitely on a roll right now. I'm number one. Adam's number two. That could change. You know, he was number one before, and I was number four or something a couple weeks ago. So the one thing you need to know is that we're professional cappers, and we're pretty good at baseball. So let's keep it rolling. We both have a 5% play, and you can get a double play. Adam and myself for 3 days. Huge discount. So that would include both of our 5% plays, which sold separately are $35 each, which is $70. So you can get a double play for less than that and 2 extra days. Grab a double play. That's my recommendation. So let's start off today with the Yankees and Red Sox, the game everyone's talking about.
Absolutely. Kick us off. I can't think of a better thing to start with that, the biggest rivalry in baseball.
Shall I go first? Can you guys tell we're fired up? It's Friday night here in Japan. So, I'm fired up. It's the weekend. I'm going to do my taxes this weekend. Woo! Anyways, when you live abroad, your tax deadline is June 15th. So it's about time for me to start doing that. Anyways, let's get into the Yankees Red Sox here. We've got Sonny Gray going for the Red Sox, ex-Cardinal, ex-Yankee, pretty much everything. He's bounced around a lot. And we got Ryan Weathers, ex-Miami Marlin, going for the Yankeroos. So Judge out indefinitely. That's some bad news, but I still have the Yankees hitting number 5 in all of MLB, where I have the Red Sox hitting number 8 in current form. Pitcher against pitcher. I got these pitchers overall ranked pretty evenly, but I like Sonny Gray's numbers against his former team. And these guys, they kind of hold that at the root, when a team lets them go or they get traded or something. So I think we're going to see a good Sonny Gray today. And I like Boston's bullpen a lot better than I like the Yankees bullpen. The Yankees got rid of Williams. They got rid of Nuke Weaver. And they tried to improve their bullpen, and it doesn't seem to be working right now. In current form, I have the Yankees ranked 23, and I got the Red Sox ranked 6. I think the wrong team's favored here, guys. I know the Yankees are a great home team, but the Red Sox are a good away team. They're I think 14-12 on the road, 16-14. So I think the Red Sox are a live dog here, in my opinion. What do you think?
People are going to think you're crazy for that comment, TB. I don't at all. I only make the Yankees a minus 105, which actually kind of at most books would make them a slight dog. I know, I've got this minus 105 both ways. Couple things. The Yankee tax that you always talk about is alive and well here.
Today.
The reason, without a doubt. And the reason for that, you already mentioned it. Aaron Judge is out 4 to 6 weeks. This injury looks pretty serious. It actually might be more on the 6-week side, like no timetable type deal. But they've listed it as 4 to 6 weeks. This is something I brought up on the show the other day. Since 2021, without Aaron Judge, the Yankees are 40-49. So we now have an 89 game sample over the last 5 years where Aaron, and the reason I used that sample, the last 5 years is Aaron Judge has been sort of the guy for the Yankees during that time frame. And I'm not as worried about earlier in his career. I'm looking at like 21 to 26. He's been the man. When he is not in the lineup for the Yankees the past 5 years, 89 games, they have a 449 win percentage. That's not very good. It's certainly not what you would price as like a premium. Like, I think that's what I'm looking at here and why I like the Red Sox at this price so much is the market eventually. Now, he's going to be out 2 months, okay? At some point during this 2 months, the market is going to price this appropriately. They are going to adjust for Judge not being in the lineup. They have not done that yet. And so for that reason, especially with a Red Sox team that hasn't been very good this year, so the Red Sox are I think that this actually would have been priced appropriately if the Red Sox were playing better baseball. What happened to the Red Sox yesterday? Exactly what we said on this show. They got crushed. Whose fault was that? That was Bryan Bayo's fault. He's now down at Worcester in AAA. We're not worried about him. The Red Sox as a whole are not that bad of a team. I still think there's some upside there. I still think there's some improvement. And their bullpen's good. Their bullpen's good, and they didn't use anyone in the bullpen yesterday. So, yeah, TV, you're absolutely spot on here. I think the value, without a doubt, is on the Red Sox in this game.
Totally agree.
Yeah, we're going to go right to the chat. I mean, again, it's like, that game I don't really have more on because it's like matchup-wise, it's Yankees Red Sox. It's still going to be a pretty good game, but that price is crazy for the Yankees there, and we bet numbers in a lot of cases.
It's just too much. I mean, the Yankees have more wins, and overall, let's face it, they're probably the better team. But the Red Sox bullpen is head and shoulders above the Yankees bullpen in current form. And I'll take a team with even pitchers, even lineups, and that much of a discrepancy in the bullpen at plus 120 something, plus 130. I'll take that any day. Any day. I like Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray's road stats are actually better than his home stats, by the way. So yeah. I mean, he'll be up for facing his ex team. Absolutely. Sonny Gray's been good his whole career, except when he was in New York. So
tough place to play. A lot of people in the chat saying no, Judge is huge. Yeah, that's the handicap here. This is priced incorrectly for Judge not being in the lineup. It's just
Yankees are going to drop the ball at least twice as well. So, you got that in your back pocket as well, Volpe's going to drop the ball. Someone's going to drop the ball. So anyways, I like that. I like that play. I made a free play video on YouTube's WagerTalk channel. They probably have not uploaded it yet, but by the end of the show, it'll probably be uploaded. And that's one of the plays. Contreras has great stats against Weathers as well. So Contreras for hits, runs, RBIs is also a free play that I put out. Yeah. I think his hits, runs, RBIs should cash. They get 9 innings of at-bats as well. So if he's if he's in the top of the lineup, I think that's a good play as well. Does anyone have a 5% play today? Are you serious? Did you just
they might have tuned in late. Tell them where they can get 2 of those, TB. Tell them where they can get 2 of those.
You can get 2. Adam and I both have a 5% play. And yesterday we went 5-0. I'm number 1 at WagerTalk the last 30 days, and Adam's number 2. Good time to jump on. Good time to get a double play. 3 days, huge discount. Normally $70 for both of our 5% plays. You can get both of them hugely discounted and 2 extra days.
2 extra days.
Huge. Grab it.
Silent Type, appreciate the donation from you. Appreciate all of the again, shout out to all of you guys. I know there were some people that joined yesterday. We got to the 250,000 mark for WagerTalk for the YouTube channel. A huge milestone for our YouTube channel. So thank you guys for doing that. And it allows us to keep bringing the heat 6 days a week here. I don't know if I can handle 7 days a week. I'm waiting to be asked to do a Sunday show. But, let's go to, Alex. First of all, let's get Alex in here. Alex says, thank you for the donation. And Alex says, Trig, O's money line, O's minus 1.5, plus money both pregame. Easy winners, great info. That was yesterday. And TB also gave out the O's team total. Tokyo Brandon, I think that cashed in the first inning yesterday.
Second or first inning, yeah.
First or second inning. That was something an 8-2 win for the Orioles. But the game we're going to talk about right now for Alex, he says, how do you feel about Athletics A's? So another thing we talked about that kind of came to fruition yesterday. Sorry, yes, Athletics Astros. Thank you, TV. That is right. Athletics Astros.
Yeah.
Something we talked about yesterday that also kind of came true was some offense in the game out in Wrigley Field. Didn't get that first run, Yurfie, but later in the game, the offense picked up. The 7-6 final went well over the total, and something at the end of that game. Right now, it's just glaring. The A's don't have a closer, and the A's don't have great high leverage relievers. It did them in at Wrigley last night. Of course, they go in to the ninth, the bottom of the ninth inning with a 6-3 lead, and they lose 7-6. I'm going to kick this one over to you, but my first thought here is, again, I don't know if I really want the A's with Jackson Perkins on the mound and the bullpen in the shape they're in on the road here. I'm leaning Astros. How do you see this one?
Yeah, just two notes. Since Brian's not here, we got a little chit chat time. On my YouTube channel, my personal one, I'm going to do a Sunday preview of all the games like I did last week. So check that out. Also, a lot of people comment when I wear this. They think I'm like satanic or something. This is not a devil. Okay. This is not a devil. It's a Japanese oni, which is a Buddhist. It's a Buddhist symbol to ward off evil spirits. So stop saying that I'm satanic, please, because I'm not. Anyways, moving on. I just had to get that off my chest. Moving on. Let's take a look at the Astros and A's. Yeah. Perkins and Lambert. So Lambert is a guy that a lot of people like to fade, but he's actually pitching kind of well this season. He's 4-4 with a 3.77 ERA. Let me take a look at what his whip is. I don't have that. Oh, it's 1.21. It's a very respectable whip as well. And he's at home. Look, the Astros are hitting better than the A's right now. As far as star power or like young guns, I like the A's lineup a lot. But they're not hitting very well right now. And their bullpen, like Adam just alluded to, they're missing a closer, and their bullpen is kind of trashy right now. The Astros bullpen, top 10. Got him 7 right now, and Lambert is serviceable. He can eat some innings. So I think the Astros probably going to win this one. They're a good home team. Oh, no, actually, they're not a good home team. 14-18, and the A's are 19-15 on the road. So that would be one little red flag for me. But a small percent on the Astros, I think, would be a decent play here. Anytime you have a team that has in current form, their bullpen is 15 to 20 points better than the other team, you certainly have a shot of winning the game. So, and Lambert's not as bad as everyone thinks. So -108, I think the wrong team's favored in this one as well.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm willing to not worry about the Astros record so much because they did have injuries. They're getting a couple of guys back. Astros bullpen gets a huge boost from Josh Hader coming back earlier this week. That's huge for them. I mean, yeah, that they were really like the Astros were lacking high leverage relievers. Now they're getting healthy. They're getting some of those guys back. They called up another guy from AAA that's been pretty good a couple weeks ago. And then you have the A's. The A's are now becoming, in my opinion, and like we're watching this over the last few days, like this is what I said about the A's going into the year. You've got a bunch of good hitters, good bat to ball guys that are going to keep you in games because of their offense. But this pitching staff is dreadful. And I like some of their starters. I like the young, I like the JT Gins, the Gage Jumps of this team. And their starters, I would say, even Springs and like their starters can give you a good 5-6 innings, but I am real concerned as to what happens after the starters get out of the game for the A's. I just don't see anywhere where there's like someone that you're like, oh, like I totally trust this guy, and this guy to bring us home, right? I don't see that anywhere on this A's staff. And so now you got a guy like Jack Perkins. His numbers are fine, but he's mostly pitched out of the bullpen. So, I think I could see Perkins going 4 or 5 innings here at best. Like I think the best case scenario is Jack Perkins goes 4 innings, maybe 5. So you're still going to need 4 more innings out of this A's bullpen that just doesn't have anyone that you want out there in a close game. They have guys that can get outs. In my opinion, their bullpen is all 6th, 7th inning guys. They have no one that I would be comfortable with in the 8th or 9th inning of a game. And now it's really, I don't think it's bit them enough this year, Tokyo Brandon. I think they've been a little fortunate. And then yesterday, they finally do get bit by that. Sorry, the dogs are barking at something. We like barking dogs on this baseball show, though.
It's the Red Sox.
Yeah, that is what the Red Sox are going to be tonight. But, like you said, Peter Lambert's been solid. The Astros have got some guys back in the bullpen. I, too, think the Astros should be a bigger favorite. I actually think the Astros might be my parlay leg, but I'm gonna wait. It's only two of us today. We'll have time to lock it in. I'm pro Houston right now. I did not like this team coming into the year, but they've underachieved. They're getting a little bit healthy. I think the Astros are going to be a little bit of a play on team as they get some of these guys back.
They do this almost every year. Last year, weren't they on like a historically bad run to open the season? Weren't they like 1-19 or something? They made the playoffs. So the Astros do this almost every year recently.
Yeah, and listen, you got Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown pitched.
Eating the garbage cans has become not a thing anymore. They start slow and then they pick it up like right around now.
Hunter Brown pitched for Sugarland last night. He's had a couple, so he's on the he's coming back.
Time to buy stock on the Astros.
So I think it's a reasonable thing when you look at that division. If you don't, I like Seattle, right? I still like Seattle. I think they're a really good team. Still think they're the best team in that division. And the Rangers have upside, but it's like none of these teams are like striking fear into like anyone yet, right? Mariners, Rangers. Like the A's aren't winning this division. The Angels certainly aren't winning this division. I don't hate that. I think you could take a flyer on the Astros. It'll be interesting to see if they trade Yordan Alvarez, but like this is a scenario where they could trade him and they could get guys back that can play like this year. Like they might be able to flip Yordan into like 3 or 4 guys that could play this year as like youngsters. Like, there's been some talk. So yeah, really interesting team that I think is undervalued, and I think they win this game tonight. All right, let's go to the chat. Okay, so we'll stay in the AL West. Mike S says Seattle, Detroit. I see plenty of value with the Tigers at home. So we got Tokyo Brandon. I will take you back to the beginning of the week. We talked about this Tigers team. Bryan and I both really like the Tigers on Monday. I used the Tigers as a client play. They won that game in Tampa, and they went to Tampa and got themselves a 3-game sweep against one of the best teams, from a record standpoint in the American League. Absolutely massive for the Tigers that they get Gleyber Torres back, Kerry Carpenter back. It helps. Now they're back at home, but in my opinion, they're facing a team that's starting to find their legs, if you will. A Mariners team that was 1 game away from the World Series last year and is not a team that I really want to step in front of. Interesting one, Mariners, Tigers, anything for you side or total in this game?
So Aquadome, thank you for the nice words. Appreciate that. And someone else commented asking me if I'm going on the Kiss Cruise. I am not going on the Kiss Cruise, unfortunately. I did see them in concert here in Japan twice when they came here. But anyways, let's get on to this game. So Woo-hoo-hoo goes against Framber Valdez, probably the most hated teammate in all of Major League Baseball. Everywhere he goes, his teammates hate him because he's a terrible teammate, but he's a pretty good pitcher. This year, he's kind of dropping off a little bit. He's a great pitcher, but every time I trust him on the road, I seem to get stabbed in the back for some reason. His control and command is really good, though. He's 20% of walks to strikeouts, and 30 to 40 is considered pretty good. Framber Valdez, his control command is not so good. Detroit's not really hitting the ball very well lately, and I like Seattle's bullpen. I like Woo. I think even though on the road, he can hold these bats down. I think I might look at a Detroit team total under in this one. I don't think they're going to score a lot of runs. If you can get a 4.5, that would be great. Even a 3.5. I don't think Detroit's scoring 4 runs in this game. So it's probably how I would go if I bet this one.
Yeah, for me here, it's Mariners or pass. I've been super vocal about liking this Mariners team on this show. Going back to last week, I said I wanted to buy the Mariners on Monday. They won that game, and they won 8 in a row. They finally had their win streak, which we kind of called. I would say we collectively called that on Wednesday, that was a tough spot for them. Tough matchup against Peralta. The 8-game winning streak gets snapped. But I'm still pro Mariners going forward. And I'm very pro Bryan Woo. This is a guy that I think has been a little unlucky this year. I think Bryan Woo has a lot of and his numbers aren't bad. That's the thing. Think about this. This dude has a 0.96 whip this year, and his ERA is like mid threes, 3.44. His career ERA is 3.2, and the last 2 years he's been under 3. Okay, so when I look at his underlying metrics, I see an expected ERA of 2.92, an expected batting average of 2.21, both very, very strong metrics in those categories. Those are both top 15-ish% in Major League Baseball for pitchers. He never walks anyone. The dude is always in the zone and around the zone. So he's going to, nothing for free against Bryan Woo. He's going to force you to beat him by putting the ball in play. And the thing when I look at his StatCast from last year to this year, he's giving up more hard hit and he's not giving up as many, or he's giving up more fly balls and more hard hit. But I kind of think that's something that corrects over time. Again, I think, early in the year, he had a couple bad starts. I don't know exactly what was going on, but he got crushed a couple of times in quick succession. I think that's inflated his numbers overall. I think I'll put it this way. There's no way I would fade Bryan Woo here. I would find some way to get your money in on Woo doing something good, whether it's pitching deep into the game, getting the strikeouts. TB, I think you threw out Tigers team total under, or just taking the Mariners. That is the way I would go in this game. One of those ways.
Agreed. Guys, get a double play with Adam and myself. It's 3 days. Huge discount. And if you bought both of our 5% plays today singly, they would be is that a word? Singularly?
Mm-hmm.
Individually. They would be $70. But you can get a double play for less than that, plus 2 extra days of both of our all access. Grab it. We got super chats asking for Washington and another super chat asking for the Rockies. So which one you want to go to?
Well, we're going to get them both. Those will be the next 2 games. Let's just go in order. Let's go. Alex Rand 24 says Nats bounce back off D-backs, coming off a rivalry. That one is, of course, in the desert. What a finish in that game last night. Ketel Marte with a walk-off that could feed families, Tokyo Brandon. He was just staring at that one for a while. The final in that game ends up being 3-2 Diamondbacks. So they got the momentum from that. That's a great walk-off win for them. They now bring that momentum into another home series against a Nationals team that hasn't played great lately. We talked about this earlier in the week. Felt like they were starting to fizzle out, not have great at-bats. That's what happened. But now they head to a very hitter-friendly Chase Field. So do the bats come back here for the Nationals, TB?
Yeah, yesterday was a real emotional win. Man, Tanner Scott, he started the season pretty strong, but he's turning into Tanner Thought now. Not doing very well out there.
Not expecting that. Amazing.
Getting pounded left and right. Every time he goes out there, you can almost read the handwriting on the wall when he goes out there. He's going to get pounded. So, well, the good news for the Diamondbacks is he's not going to be playing today. So they'll probably see Blake Trinan and Vesia. I think Vesia made an appearance though. But anyways, let's break it down. You're right. The Nats have cooled off a little. They were a first 5 team total over ATM cash machine, but they've cooled off a little bit, their bats. But I have their bats better than the Diamondbacks in current form. I got the Nats 17 and the Diamondbacks 22 out of 30. But the Washington bullpen is always keeping their games over, and it's always keeping their opponents' team totals over, it seems. Let's see how Merrill Kelly does against Washington. Not very well, but it's only 28 bats against, but they're hitting 286 on him with an 893 OPS. I think Washington's bats will probably wake up. I think Arizona's bats will probably wake up. I would like an over in this, but Arizona's bullpen's playing quite well, actually. I can't name all the players in their pen, and I still think I think they still don't have a left-handed arm in their bullpen, if I'm not mistaken, which is a very big weakness, especially if you get into the playoffs. we'll see if the Diamondbacks get into the playoffs. But I think an over in this one would be good. The Diamondbacks bullpen scares me, but they're coming off an emotional win last night. I hate to use the word due, but this is a pattern for a letdown. So Washington team total over or full game over for me.
I'm with you. I think you want another good underdog. I don't think the Nationals should be an underdog here. Here's what I see happening for the Nats. Okay, so a couple things that you've already sort of pointed out that I'll sort of co-sign here. One, big time potential letdown spot coming off of not only the walk-off win last night, but the series with the Dodgers. We talked about this on Monday. The Diamondbacks take that, that is a much bigger series for the Diamondbacks than it is the Dodgers. The D-backs look at the Dodgers as a rival. It not the other way around. So the fact that they just went in, got a split against what many consider to be the best team in Major League Baseball is huge for them. And then of course the way it happened last night with the walk-off, that's in my opinion, you look at that and there could only be a letdown from that. I don't, yes, you could build off of the walk-off win, but I think it's more likely that you left it all out in the field last night and now you're going to have to sort of energize yourself to come out tonight. The other thing you said, TB, their bullpen's been pretty good, but the usage in this Dodger series was extensive. 4-1 on Monday, they needed bullpen arms. 3-2 on Thursday, they needed bullpen arms, right? And then, of course, the 6-5 Dodger win from 2 nights ago, they still had a lot of leverage bullpen being used in that game. So the Nationals, I talked about them not hitting. You know what? I kind of think 2 things could wake their bats up here. One being the fact that they go get to hit in Chase Field, a very friendly hitter ballpark. And 2, Merrill Kelly is someone I've been willing to fade. We talked about Foster Griffin. I like Foster Griffin. 1.15 whip. I think he's been good. I think he's been really good. Merrill Kelly he comes in with an ERA over 5. I think, I just think he's had his better days are past him at this point. I think we're very much seeing the twilight of Merrill Kelly's career. I know he had that good start against the Giants, but this is a guy that I think is going to keep that 5 ERA. That's kind of where I see him hanging out this year with the numbers he has now. I don't think the D-backs should be a favorite under those circumstances. So I too like the Nationals, and I do think they maybe get their team total today because I think this could be a high scoring game too.
Agree.
All right, TB, I'm gonna let you kick this one off because we gotta listen. We very much appreciate the donations. We'll get to both of those and any of the donations that come into the YouTube channel into this show. Not only does it help the algorithm tremendously, so our show gets seen by more people, but we donate every cent of the money that's donated to the show to charity. We've worked with Operation Village in the past. Our home office in Detroit does a lot of charitable work in the Michigan, Detroit area. And then in Vegas, that's where a lot of the rest lives. So appreciate the donations for sure.
Yeah. They support underprivileged kids baseball team. They do single mothers and all kinds of stuff in Detroit area. So when you donate to us, we appreciate that. They
a lot
give that to charities. Yeah.
A lot around the holiday season too.
Yes,
I think they do adopt a family every year. So
right.
Yep.
So
great stuff right there. Appreciate the donations. Darren says, great show. We appreciate you for that. We try to come bring it every day. He says, can you tell me if this Rockies game is going to go over or under for today, TV? I'm going to let you kick this off. Coors Field tonight, Brewers Rockies. Are you seeing runs or not?
Okay, let me promote a couple things. On my Twitter X, I've already put out my outs projections and my strikes projections. So take a look at Tokyo _Brandon on X. I have the least amount of followers of everyone at WagerTalk. I only have 5,500. Adam has 1 million. So let me help me.
Kelly has $1 million. I got 17,000. We got to get TV more followers though. Go. Listen, Tokyo Brandon.
Come on, man.
Go to everyone here right now needs to go to Twitter. They need to follow Tokyo Brandon and they need to follow Hunter Biden, who's become the most generational Twitter follow in the last 2 weeks that I've ever seen. The guy's just going. He's on a generational Twitter run. So go over, follow those. One for entertainment, and then obviously Tokyo Brandon for winning information. Go to Twitter, do that right now.
One guy on Coke and one guy on Fireball. Sounds good. All right.
That's basically it.
All right. So I did a parody on the A Team today on my Twitter. So go check it out and follow me on there. And on my YouTube, I'll be doing a Sunday preview. So get a double play with Adam and myself. We both have a 5% play out. Let's talk about the Rockies and the Brewers. So we got Sprout me, and we got Ryan Feltner. Someone's asking if this is going to go under. I don't like either one of these pitchers, to be honest. And both lineups are hitting pretty well. And the Rockies bullpen is atrocious. Milwaukee's bullpen should be a little worn out. So I think if you're going to bet an under in this game, that would be a very precarious way to place a wager, in my opinion. I would like the over in this game if I had to bet it, but I'm probably not going to bet it. How are you looking at this one?
Oh, I also like the over. I think there's going to be runs. I think you could take the way TB, something that you talk about with the Nationals a lot is like, well, at least earlier in the year when the Nationals were very, very undervalued, their team total over was always like there for the taking, like every game. Like if you wanted a Nats team total over, you were getting it at good prices, and they were hitting pretty regularly. Bryan, Leonard, our co-host, who hopefully we'll have him back tomorrow. He's feeling under the weather, so we wish him well. Hope he gets better. On Wednesday, talked about the Rockies and was like, you know what? Over the course of 9 innings, their team total is probably going to get there. In the Angels game, it was only 3.5, and they got killed in that game. But the game ended up 11-4. So it's like there's a lot of ways that like if the Rockies get blown out and the back end of their bullpen's in, suddenly that means the other team's back end of the bullpen is in. Maybe you get some runs that way. But they also have some offense, and now they're back at home. Coors Field's going to generate some offense, right? Like you're going to have some balls that leave the yard, the thin air, the big outfield. Like it's a we talked about Chase Field in the last breakdown. The other one that always comes up that people love to hit at is Coors Field. Not only is the air thin and the ball travels, but they've got a nice big green backdrop, nothing out there in center field. It's very, very friendly to the hitters. Now, I've been very high on Brandon Sproat this year. Okay. Brewers pitcher Brandon Sproat coming into the season. I've always been higher than the market on him, but Tokyo Brandon, something I've seen with him that has me very, very concerned for Sproat in this game is the fact that I think he needs to go back to the minors. I think he's got upside, but right now he just does not have command of his pitches. And here's what this has meant. So he's been in the bottom 15th. He's probably on your chronic walker list, if I had to guess, somewhere up there. He's probably because he's like bottom 15% in Major League Baseball in walk rate. And what has happened so basically all year, walks have been an issue. Last time out, what does he do? Overcompensates because he hasn't been able to throw strikes, throws it right over the middle of the plate. So he went from 4 walks a game because he's nibbling and he can't hit the corners. Well, now he's right over the middle of the plate. Astros, 5 runs on 6 hits over 4 1/3. You just are not going to get away with that at Coors Field. Like if you're just out over the plate at Coors, some of those balls are leaving the yard. And if you're walking guys, well, there's probably going to be some runs to be had. So I think, but then you've got this, listen, TB, you said it a couple times this week. Brewers are a well put together ball club. They'll be able to hang in just about any kind of game. So if they're giving up runs, it doesn't, or if they give up some runs to the Rockies, it doesn't mean the Brewers aren't going to get theirs. They were just in a 12-9 game that sort of went off the rails yesterday. It could be very similar to the Brewers game yesterday, and they had to play yesterday. They used some bullpen. They had to travel. High-scoring game, TB. So I'll give Darren the over, and I think if I were to break it down further, I would if I were to go team total, I would go Rockies team total, not the Brewers team total. I think you're getting a little more value there.
Over.
I think we agree. On that one. All right. 2 drinks in bets. Love that. I mean, it's Friday night for TB. I mean, listen, he does the show Friday. What's it, 11 p.m.? You might be three drinks in at this point, or maybe more. Who knows?
It's Friday
but
as well.
Listen, 2 drinks in bets, purchased a double play. We appreciate you for that. Shout out to you and anyone and everyone that supports us on a regular basis. It is appreciated more than you know. It's how we're able to continue to do this every day, all day, every year, year after year. So thank you guys. TB and I want nothing more than to go 2-0 for you on those 5%ers tonight and hit everything else we play. But for you on this show, we'll hit this game. So he says, what do you think about Mets Padres? The Mets stay out on the West Coast. They go from Seattle to San Diego for this series. Start us off, TB, Padres Mets.
Yeah, King. I generally like Michael King. I think he's a great acquisition from the Yankees in that trade. They lost Juan Soto, but they did gain King, and he's been pretty good for them. We got Christian Scott from the Mets. Look, I've said this in shows past, but I don't bet Padres games. They're on my blacklist for betting because they always bite me in the butt when I bet against them or with them. On paper, they're an excellent team, but performance, they just can't. It's kind of like a great band that makes good albums, and when you go see them live, they stink. It's kind of like that. I like the Mets today, honestly. I rank teams. There's like 20 categories I rank teams in, and the Mets are better than the Padres in almost every single category. Not by much, but they are better, especially in bullpen, expected ERA, expected batting average, WOBA. They beat the Padres in everything in current form, not full season, but in current form. And I use kind of a little sandwich of stats for last 7 days, last 10 days, last 14 days. And I mix them together in a big taco. And the Mets on paper look a lot better than the Padres to me here. But I'm not going to bet it, but I would certainly be tempted to.
Alex says, how this is done at random, no research. It's awesome. It's called having no life, basically. Like it's called like, this is your, if I'm not in front of the TV, if I'm not home watching baseball, like 8 out of 10 times I'm at a baseball game. Listen, here's a rule of thumb. Okay. If your handicapper is always out doing something, posting and they're probably not very good at this. I'm just saying, like you kind of want the person that you're trusting to give you baseball, like picks, to just be watching baseball. And that's what Tokyo Brandon does. That's what I do. That's what Bryan does. So there's a little, just general advice for you right there.
Let me just throw this in. I live in Japan, so the American games are in my morning time, and then in the afternoon I get Korean and Japanese, and then I go to sleep. So I live, breathe, and eat baseball basically during baseball season. I love waking up. Like it's like on the East Coast, Korea, KBO starts 5:30 a.m. So it's like it forces me to start my day at 5:30 a.m. It's like, and now I do that in basketball season because I'm so accustomed to it too. So like, it's perfect. Day starts at 5:30, first pitch of Korean baseball, and then we're off and running. So on this Padres Mets game, TB, this Mets team, it's like every time I'm just out, I want to be out on them. They do something to just keep me a little bit interested, because I've said all year that I do think this team is going to turn the corner at some point. Okay. And, I think they had like that great stretch at the end of May. They win 4 straight. Actually, they ended up, they win 4 straight. It was a sweep of the Marlins coming off of grabbing the last game of the series against the Reds. There were some favorable positions for them in that Mariner series. I would say almost argue that every game in the Mariner series was pretty favorable to the Mets, but yet they managed to lose 2 of 3. But on Wednesday, they win. They get the 7-1 win. They get the night off. And now I'm kind of coming in here thinking that the Mets are undervalued again. I don't mind Christian Scott. I don't think King is like this huge edge over Christian Scott. Right. If you're not familiar with Christian Scott, he kind of like burst onto the scene, had a really good run in AAA Syracuse, right in my backyard. I got to see him pitch in person a few times, and then got hurt, and he was out for like a year. And so I think people have forgotten about him a little bit. So
I kind of like the Mets as a dog here, but I've had a hard time getting to the window with this Mets team. But I do think there's some value in this game.
Well, I'm the same with the Padres, so I'm definitely not betting this game. But, you know, I generally like favorites more than underdogs, and I'm picking almost every underdog today, so it tells you something.
Yeah, that's
the
just in general.
today. Numbers seem to be off. Either the bookmakers are right or I'm right, one or the other, but these numbers seem off to me.
So someone told me once, they're like, this is like, I don't know why this stuck with me, but they're like the books, they said like Friday's payday. So like the average person's going to come in and probably bet all favorites. So like the book shade more on a Friday. Again, I think it's a ridiculous statement, but who knows? Maybe it's true. Maybe they suck you in on the favorites on Friday. Who knows?
Could be.
I like a lot of dogs too today.
Yeah, for people who get paychecks, Friday is payday. So yeah, it's certainly possible. Certainly possible.
Yeah, I don't know. I always made me that always made me laugh because I was like, that's a real conspiracy theory type thing. But it kind of makes sense because if you're going to shade, the public gravitates toward the favorites. If the books are going to shade favorites and they say, oh, we can get average Joe to pay 10 to 15 more cents for this side than he should, then there's going to be value on the underdogs. And I think you're right, TB. A lot of these games that I'm seeing today are showing solid value on the dog. Vinny, there's one game that's not, okay? And one game I do sort of like a favorite in a little bit here, although maybe there is some value, is the Cubs Giants game. So let's do the day game. This is the standalone day game at Wrigley Field. We have Giants who came through for us in the parlay yesterday, which we will get to in just a second. That is the Giants. They won the game outright yesterday in Milwaukee. And now they're going to come into another day game here at Wrigley Field against the Cubs. It does look like the wind is blowing out again. And it looks like it's going to be Edward Cabrera against Robbie Ray. How are you seeing the day game here, TB?
Yeah, taking a look at this, the Giants are actually hitting better than the Cubs, which seems weird to say, but the Giants currently in current form are ranked number 3 in MLB, and the Cubs are ranked 19. But if you look at the rosters on paper, the Cubs like 10 times better than the Giants. So why is that? Well, this is the thing about baseball. You got to follow it day in and day out. It's like a soap opera. If you miss 2 episodes, you have no idea, you know. Now Jeannie is married to David, and you have no idea. Someone's stepbrother died, and some crazy stuff happens. You miss 2 days of MLB, man, you're way off. So the Giants right now are hot. For those of you who have not been around for a while, and they're hitting really well right now. And if what Adam says is true about that wind blowing out, looking at Robbie Ray's numbers against these Cubs, he's got 44 at-bats against a 182 average and a 629 OPS. Those are pretty electric numbers, actually. So given the fact that they have the better hitting and the better starter, in my opinion, at least the better starter matchup. I don't think Robbie Ray's a better pitcher than Edward Cabrera, but he's got the better matchup. The only thing is I don't trust the Giants bullpen, but I would be very tempted to take Giants first 5 here and throw out their bullpen, because I think their hitting and their pitcher matchup is favorable. I'm not betting it, though.
Yeah, I have some. So my thoughts on this, the Cubs have taken a pretty good amount of money since we started this show. They've gotten kind of. They had the great win last night. Yeah. So do what you will with that. Like, the Cubs absolutely should have lost last night. They came back, got 4 in the 9th inning. Like, against most teams that have like even someone remotely respectable to put in at the end of that game, the Cubs would have lost yesterday, but they get a win. So you got to kind of think like, man, that's got to be good for the psyche, right? To get that win. Mark, he says, Trig, I was right on the PCA home run. Yeah, you were. And you know what? That's another thing. Pete Crow Armstrong's been squaring balls up. Like, I would be looking to back PCA offensive over type stuff because he's been hit a lot of hard hit, gets the homer. I think he could break out in a big way. Interesting thing here, though, again, I think you have heavily juiced up numbers based on the fact that it's like the Cubs took a ton of money this morning. It's now up to -175. Like I can't play the Cubs at -175. Like there's at TV. You said Giants in the first 5 in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, like that's clear value on the side right there. Here's my problem. Like the total's like 11 and a half. Like in my opinion, that's too big of a overreaction for the wind. Like, so for example, like I like the total last night in this game. It was lower, and in my opinion, it was a more favorable setup for runs. Today is in my opinion, a worse setup for runs. Yet the total has now moved a full run. Some places a run and a half. So I think man, dude, it's not easy to do. But if you can get an 11 and a half on this under, I think that's your entertainment for this afternoon. Although who knows, it could be 8-4 in the third inning. But like again, that's a big total. I would lean under right there.
I have a parlay leg. We should probably get to it.
Let's get it. Let's go. Yeah. What are we looking at? Yep.
Okay. Before we sign off and do this, grab a double play. Adam and myself, we both have a 5% play. Normally individually $70, but you can get it for less than that, plus 2 more days, all access for both of us. We went 5-0 combined yesterday, and I'm number 1 last 30 days, and Adam's number 2. I'm not bragging. He was number 1 before when I was number 5 or something. So either way, we're both doing pretty good this season. So grab a double play. My parlay is going to be in the Angels-Dodgers game. The Angels play the Dodgers really well. They went 6-0. They swept them last season, I think. And I have Detmers in my top 10 pitchers of all 250 starting pitchers. I've used to fade the guy all the time, but my numbers are telling me not to do that anymore. So I don't trust Sasaki. I don't know if the Angels are going to beat the Dodgers, but the Angels bullpen is kind of ass. So kind of hard to trust them, but I think an Angels team total in the first 5 over 1.5 would be a very good bet, because I don't trust Sasaki, and I got the Angels hitting number 11 in Major League Baseball right now in current form. So if you can't get a first 5, take their team total full game. If it's 3.5, I certainly think they can score 3.5 runs in this game. But for the parlay, can I do a first 5 team total over 1.5 for the Angels?
Yeah, we can do that. And if you can't get that in the parlay, you could all.
Yeah, it's -115. So that's going to be my leg of the parlay.
Yep, I'm just I was just pulling it up too. So you said Angels first 5
innings over 1.5.
Yeah, I have. Here we go.
Sasaki, and he's very up and down. You know, he could go out there and throw 7 shutout innings, but usually he doesn't. So let's just put it that way. I think the Angels can get to him.
So yeah, I'll okay, yeah, yep, over 1.5 -115. I see it on 2 sites. So that's going to be Angels, Dodgers, first 5 over 1.5 -115. Someone says the Angels haven't listed a pitcher yet. I thought I saw Reed Detmers.
Yeah,
it is Detmers. Okay, yeah, I think,
and I got him ranked really high. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I don't like him. I don't like him, but my numbers do.
I would gravitate toward an Angels plus 1.5, but it was a little bit more expensive than I would have preferred for this game. That being said, it's early. The Dodgers tend to take money throughout the day. The Dodgers coming off a loss like they did last night could take money throughout the day. So if that came down 10 to 15 cents, you might be able to talk me into an Angels plus 1.5. And that's my reasoning too, Tokyo Brandon. I think Detmers is solid. I think he's going to keep them in that game. The Angels are not a great ball club, but this is another one though. Recent history. The Dodgers have dominated. Like, this is the LA, right? This is LA against LA, Anaheim, they're both LA area teams. Like, the Dodgers have dominated this so much in recent history that I don't think the Dodgers really look at the Angels as their rival anymore, even though it's like a regional rivalry. But I still think the Angels get up for the Dodgers. Like, it's similar to the Diamondbacks.
They swept them 6-0 last season. I think.
So,
yeah. I mean, They swept the Dodgers. The Dodgers don't care about playing the Angels.
Mhm.
They just want to get in the playoffs. The Angels care.
Before we wrap up, so Freebird, again, another extremely generous donation. Very, very appreciative of that. We talked about, so here's what we talked about Red Sox Yankees at the beginning of this show. So I'll have you refer back to the beginning of the show for the breakdown of that game where Tokyo Brandon and I both agreed that the Red Sox are the value. He is saying, what is a great total play to wrap with the Red Sox today? So very quickly, TB, if you were going to take a total in Red Sox Yankees today, what would it be?
I would take the first 5 innings game total under, especially if it's 4.5, because I like Weathers. I like Sonny Gray, and Yankees bats are a little cold right now. So I think under 4.5 in the first 5 would be a good play.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think you could go under first 5. I think you could go under full game. The Red Sox have all of their high leverage relievers available for today's game. And the big part of our handicap, taking Aaron Judge out of that Yankees lineup does matter, in my opinion. That lends itself to the under being a better play as well. So I agree with you there. Roy, TB, what is your remaining season of baseball cost? Well, if you get it before Sunday, there's a great coupon. So tell them about your coupon. This is the treatment you get when you're number one for a period of time. So TB is getting that treatment this weekend. Tell them about your coupon.
Yeah, because I'm number one last 30 days. WagerTalk's doing a special. If you use code TB100, you can get $100 off the remainder of my MLB season. So just buy a season, put it in your cart, and do TB100. You'll get $100 off. But today, Adam and I both have a 5% play, so it might be better for your money to get a double play with him and myself. You know one of us is going to win, right? You're muted.
Yeah, and once a show. You get the double play today. It runs you through Sunday, and then you use the coupon on Sunday before it expires. That's the play right there, in my opinion.
Yep, absolutely. And we're both red hot. 5-0 yesterday. Couldn't find probably can't find 2 other cappers on WagerTalk that could say that. So, let's make some money today, guys. I like a lot on the board.
My parlay leg is the Astros. We've already talked about the game. So if you've missed anything, if you joined late, WagerTalk YouTube channel, you can always catch the replay of the show within about 30 minutes to an hour. The timestamps will be added in the description so you can bounce around game to game. So we already broke that game down. So the 2-teamer for today, Tokyo Brandon, is going to go Angels, Dodgers. Or I'm sorry. Is it Angels team total first 5 over? Is that what it is? Yeah. Okay, sorry. I didn't want to misspeak.
Angels, it is the Angels-Dodgers game, though. You got that right.
Angels team total, first 5 over. 1.5 runs minus 115 is Tokyo Brandon's leg. My leg is going to be Ash.
Sorry. If you can't get that, then Angels over 3.5.
Yeah, and here's the other thing, too. Like, this might be a day where if you can't get that team total, because it's only a 2-teamer, just play them straight, right? You could just play both of them straight today, probably. I think is a reasonable way to do it. So Angels team total, first 5 over, 1.5 runs for Tokyo Brandon. And I'm going to go with the Astros, minus 105. TB and I already broke down that game completely. So that's earlier in the show, which you can find on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Head on over to WagerTalk, grab the double play. We both have 5%ers tonight. And we will be back 10 a.m. tomorrow, special time. Saturday is always an hour later. Before last call. So 10 a.m. tomorrow for a Saturday total basis. We'll see you guys then.